Hello, hello, hello. We are doing this thing. I hope you've been encouraged so far, thinking about Black love and thinking about our relationships from an African perspective. We are continuing on with that.
And so we encourage you right now to visit webuildlegacy.com so you can download your free resource, What's Black Love Got to Do with It, so
Absolutely.
that you can actually join us in this journey
Yeah.
as we read through and have commentary. So don't forget to like this video on our YouTube page, We Build Legacy. Comment, like, share with friends to continue along in this journey with us.
Yeah, let us know what you're thinking as we're reading through this. This is, like I said, it's not everything, but this is just enough for us to begin to know that we have our own history and to embrace that. Okay, so we're going to get started now. We're talking about Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. It is considered the cradle of humanity, the home of the Queen of Sheba, Makeda, written about in the Bible in 1 Kings 10, 1 through 13. The first emperor of Ethiopia, King Menelik I, is said to be the son of Queen Makeda and King Solomon of Israel. Ethiopia accepted Judaism at the beginning of the Ethiopian Empire in 950 BC. According to legend, the Ark of the Covenant was carried to Ethiopia by King Menelik I and remains there. Axum is present-day Ethiopia. King Azana of Axum established the first Christian state in Africa around 341 AD. The home of the oldest church in Africa, Saint Mary of Zion, and one of the oldest in the world, was built in 4 AD. Ethiopia established a pre-colonial Christian church, not influenced by European colonial powers. Christianity was not a Western concoction for African people. The current iteration of Christianity is a Western creation, and many agree that Western Christianity has played a major role in politics and the development of Western culture. Ethiopian Empire Axum was involved in international trade, and while Christianity was its primary religion, multiple religions, including Islam, coexisted in Axum. Ethiopia is the location of the rock-hewn Lalibela Christian churches from the 12th century that were carved into mountains and still serve as places of worship today. In the 16th century, Ethiopia rejected the Catholicism that Portuguese missionaries brought to them. Catholicism was viewed as a foreign version of Christianity. While the Ethiopians believed their emperors to be descendants of King Solomon and their Orthodox Christian traditions and beliefs to be in line with the practices of the earliest Christians. It is important to note that some doctrines of Orthodox churches, like those in Ethiopia, differ from Protestant doctrines practiced in Western countries, similar to the way Catholic Church doctrine differs from Protestantism. For example, in Eastern Orthodox beliefs, which precede Catholicism and later Protestantism, heaven and hell are not literal places. In Catholicism, hell is a place, but there's also purgatory where a person can undergo purification for heaven after death. For Protestants, there's only the physical heaven and the physical hell after death. How does one reconcile these differences in the way the gospel is interpreted, especially with the concepts of heaven and hell being such major parts of evangelism in Western Christianity? Which is the right doctrine to follow? Ethiopia was the only African country to successfully resist colonization by Europeans. Ethiopians use binary math, a system that was also used in ancient Egypt and is the basis of our modern computer technology. Ethiopians maintain a 13-year calendar, which begins on September 11 every year. The calendar is also 7 to 8 years behind the Gregorian calendar that the rest of the world uses.
Hey guys, so I think one of the things that I take from this.
Well, can I say this first before
sure.
I even get to that? When I wrote this, I didn't put this in, but I didn't mention Empress Menen. And Empress Menen, as the queen, was the last queen of the last emperor of Ethiopia. I don't know if you've ever seen that picture of the Queen of England bowing before her. I think it was in the 70s or something like that. But I had to just mention her because I would be remiss. Now, it's not a part of the ebook, but if you need to look her up, look her up. She was a dynamic woman, and she was in our more recent times. This lineage of Ethiopia is powerful, and it's one that we should not forget. And she, Empress Menen, was unapologetically African. She was working to keep all of the imperialism of England and the rest of them away. She did her thing, and I just wanted to mention that. Now you go.
Yeah, no, I wanted to also just ride on the coattail of that is that, you know, recently you were honored with some other women.
I was. I didn't know. I didn't.
As a candidate for women in the community and Empress Menen.
Yeah.
And so that was a
That was an
beautiful event.
honor.
Yeah,
I mean, to be associated with her, she was also taking care of the women of her time and making sure they were educated, make sure they had, care, and all of those things. And to be associated with her and to be recognized as a woman doing that kind of work by Black people, nothing like being acknowledged by your own. I was just excited, and so I had to just interject her.
And, along with the other information that was presented in this particular reading regarding the Christian church, Christianity, and it not being forced upon Ethiopia, and Ethiopia actually resisting, Western influences, Catholicism and that of the such, was amazing within itself. Also, one of the things that along with Empress Menen that I just find outstanding when we talk about African influences within the world. And one of the things that actually holds up Western society when we're talking about the binary math system that comes out of Africa.
Exactly.
And all of our computer systems and technology, which the world rests on today, actually operating within this binary math system, just behooves, or is just very amazing that we can't celebrate the many advances that have come out of Africa to affect the world today in such a positive way, but we have nothing but negative connotations that come out of Africa because of what white culture, majority culture has placed on Africa. It's not right, but at the same time, it's our job to research and read and understand the greatness that comes from Africa, that still comes out of Africa today, and our responsibility to align our thinking, and our actual perspective and world perspective, as it relates to where our people come from, and so that we can know where we're headed, and where we're going to create sustainable pathways for our young people. So then another great reading. I'm just very appreciative about again the understanding of Ethiopia, and this one of the countries, or one of the places in Africa that has such a great influence on in the world today.
And for me, it's really powerful because for example, Lalibela, the churches, the rock hewn churches, those built down, they're beautiful. If you have the resource, if you downloaded the resource, you will see just gorgeous. But guess what? When this was happening in Ethiopia, Europe was in the Dark Ages. They had not even started all of this stuff. Seriously.
This church was built and was hewn
inside,
out of the mountain, inside the mountain.
Exactly.
And they constructed the church and dug around and carved the church out of the mountain, and it was the church was a part of the mountain but dug out. I mean, it's amazing.
It is.
The architecture.
And that's why, my personal thing is this, when I look and I am, trying to figure out what I believe, why I believe, and how I want to do something, I just look to Africa. I said it before and I'll say it again. Christianity is not something that was manufactured by Europeans. Africans had their own experiences with Christianity. And I've also said before, there was a gentleman, I forget, I stalk people on pages, different organizations, and they said they were doing missionary work to Africa. And they were spreading the gospel, the whole nine. But they mentioned going to Ethiopia and dealing. You remember, I was like, why are you witnessing to Christians in Ethiopia? I didn't understand. I was doing my research, and so I was perplexed because they were like, and we're going to, and we're gonna, I understood why they were like, okay, we're gonna witness to the Muslim, okay, we're gonna witness to those, okay, but then you're gonna witness to the Christians. Aren't you a Christian organization? Why would you do that? Well, they don't. And the response I got, because I just randomly emailed this person, and the response I got was, well, they don't acknowledge this, that, or the other, and they don't even use the same Bible. What kind of sense does that make? This Bible that at earliest was sometime after they had been worshiping, forever. It's like they don't even use our Bible. They don't, and they don't have all the books and things we have in our Bible. And you know what they did to the missionaries that tried to witness to them? And I'm just sitting there like, let me guess that they did what their forefathers did when they beat them Portuguese folks out of their land with their Catholicism and said this is not of God. They probably did the same thing. Yes, they actually they abused the missionaries. So I have all kinds of thoughts about things, but what I do know is, and that I hold to
our
myself.
Memory only goes as far as it relates to our comforts.
Exactly.
And not understanding what religion, the Christian religion, has done in America, and how it was used in such barbaric ways, to subvert, its evil.
Okay, that's the word. But anyway, I hope that this part has been enlightening for you, because this is the part that makes me happy. Saying this is who we are. This is who we are. The rest of it we had to go through whatever, but this is who we are. This is what we can reach back to. We have greatness that we can establish ourselves upon. And not just that, but there are others. So make sure that if you have not, you download the resource. And also,
what's Black Love got to do with it?
At webuildlegacy.com. And also, while you're there, look at our other resources. We have some WBL freebies, We Build Legacy freebies, but we also have some coursework, some courses that we do. And so we want to invite you to go deeper. If this is about relationships, if we're talking about, let's go deeper then and let us offer you some skills and things. We've been working at over a decade.
Yes.
Almost 2 decades.
A lot of free resources, a lot of good information.
Exactly.
And a lot of helpful coursework that we think you would find helpful in your journey as a couple in building legacy.
And in your family. And in your whatever.
That's right.
So do that. All righty.
See you guys.
See you on the next time.